Hi, I'm Cassie Kammer, and in addition to being a financial advisor and retirement income certified professional here at 10 Capital, I love educating and guiding my clients to financial prosperity. So today I'm here with my colleague Stephanie to talk about Medicare.
Hi, I'm Stephanie Farrar, and I am a wealth coach with 10 Capital, and I specialize in helping my clients prepare for life transitions, one of those being retirement. And as part of that focus, I provide educational seminars on both Medicare and on Social Security. Today, Cassie and I are going to talk about Social Security in this commentary. So Cassie, there are 44 million baby boomers still coming into retirement. And with that, we get a lot of questions around Social Security and Medicare. As we work with clients and we do seminars, one of the things we find is that clients are often surprised by how much they don't know about these complex programs.
Absolutely. And the big thing is we could talk about this for hours, and we totally have, but we aren't going to do that today, and we're just going to cover a few quick things that our clients have stumbled across and been surprised by during our planning process.
Right, and one of those is, an example of that is that 70% of Americans choose to take their Social Security benefits early. And early would be any time before full retirement age. And they don't do that because it's necessarily a great financial decision. They do that because they've paid into this program. They want their money back. Mm-hmm. They're afraid that the program won't be around, and frankly, they're afraid they might not be around, which are all valid considerations. What they don't usually tend to recognize is that by taking their benefits early, they're reduced by as much as 25%, and that's a reduction every month for the rest of their life.
Right, and that's a really big reduction. So are there any benefits to taking Social Security at a later date?
There sure are. If you delay past your full retirement age, then Social Security benefits can grow at a rate of 8% a year. Now, any investment strategy, we would be happy with an 8% growth rate. That would be a very, felt to be very healthy rate of return at that point.
Absolutely. So for Medicare, one of the big surprises that a lot of people encounter is they're still working past age 65, which is when Medicare starts. And if they are still working, then most of the time they have health care coverage, which is great. But Medicare is a standard, so they have a thing called credible coverage. And even if you have great coverage from your employer, it doesn't necessarily mean that it meets those government credibility standards. So your provider is required to send you a notice for your Part B, which is the medical insurance, and Part D, the prescription drug plan, to say whether or not it's credible. If you're on COBRA, which is the healthcare coverage that continues after you leave employment, that's not considered credible. And if you don't have credible coverage either through your employer or your if you have COBRA, those aren't considered credible, and now you are going to start incurring penalties for not using Medicare properly. So those penalties can last a lifetime, and that's a problem.
And don't the penalties on Part B actually go up every year and kind of compound for every year that you don't elect coverage?
Absolutely, and that's a great point. The other thing that happens too is that people don't realize that your premiums can go up based on your income. So Medicare is an acronym. They use a lot of alphabet soup. There's income-related monthly adjustment amount, so IRMA. Basically, it just says that if you make more money, then your premiums are going to go up, and you want to know about that before you make that decision.
Right, absolutely. Social Security also has some income restrictions that people are often not aware of. Under Social Security, you can earn up to $17,000 if you're pre-full retirement age without penalty. But over that threshold, then, for every $2 you earn, $1 of your benefit gets reduced. And at some point, if you earn enough money, it doesn't have made any sense to have taken your Social Security benefits because they're completely reduced away. The other thing that people are surprised by is that they need to estimate their earned income in advance. If they don't estimate it in advance and have it taken out of their benefits throughout the year, they come to the end of the year and the benefits are reduced for the following 3 months. And that can be a big financial burden if you haven't anticipated it and planned for it.
So are you saying that if you don't plan properly that you could have a gap of up to 3 months without any income?
Absolutely. Another surprise that people run into is taxes. We all think about Social Security benefits as a benefit paid off of taxes we paid in, but your Social Security benefits can be taxed. And in fact, up to 85% of your benefits can be taxed at your current income tax rate. So, Cassie, we should wrap this up. If you had one piece of advice to give people in navigating these programs, what would that be?
Planning. Hands down, planning is the most important thing you can do. For both Social Security and for Medicare, you can start planning well in advance. Medicare, it's you can start enrolling up to 3 months before you do it, and there's planning opportunities ahead of that as well. It's really important for your financial landscape, and the big thing with Medicare is that they can automatically enroll you. If you're taking Social Security already, they'll automatically enroll you into Medicare.
But you don't have to be on Social Security to get your Medicare benefits, correct?
Correct. You don't need to be taking Social Security to get Medicare. But the big thing about that auto enrollment is if they miss you, which the government makes mistakes, that you're going to be 100% responsible for any penalties incurred because you didn't start Medicare at the time that you were supposed to.
I think that's a great point. I think people have a tendency to think of their Social Security and their Medicare in a bucket over here, separate from their retirement bucket over here. And in fact, if we can look at those and plan for those more holistically, we can create a retirement strategy that optimizes retirement income and helps people really make good decisions about when and how to use their different resources.
Absolutely. And so part of why we think that planning is so important for us in our practice is that there's a lot of confusion regarding Medicare and Social Security. They're big programs, there's lots of nuances, and they change frequently. But the other thing that happens a lot, especially with these government programs, is people think that what their neighbor or their friend down the street is doing is going to be what they do. But just because your friend elected at 62 or your buddy is taking Medicare, plan this, that doesn't mean it's going to be the right fit for you. And so that's why we've made planning part of our process.
Right. And you can go to the Social Security office and you can ask questions about your benefits, and they are not allowed to give you planning advice. They can answer generic questions, but they're not allowed to give you planning advice. And we found that on the rare occasions where they actually do, that advice is typically not very reliable.
Right. And that's why our plan is for you. And we want to integrate that as part of our plan. We want to answer your questions. If you feel like you have anything that you need answered, or if you don't have an advisor that's giving you answering those questions, please let us know and reach out. We look forward to being able to help you with that.
Absolutely. That's about it for us today. Thank you for joining us.
And we look forward to seeing you next week.